concerning people's interest in Native American life, Native American lifeways, or whatever. And I find it interesting when it becomes an obsession and people want it more than anything, to the point where, like I said, it becomes an obsession and they search for anything to strengthen that obsession, to the point of creating ideas that have no foundation whatsoever on actual cultural principles, and I just take it too far. Let me explain this first. The Lakota star knowledge concept of what is a soul. Okay, I've talked about this before, but this is okay to talk about again. I get new listeners all the time, and it's also good to go over things again, because in the Lakota style of learning, it's a non-linear style, and what that means is that for example, you do go forward. Yeah, you start at point A, and let's say you get to point G, and let's say that took you 2 years, though. Yeah, whatever that is. Okay, it could be anything. Yeah, let's say it took you 2 years to get from point A to point G now, and let's say that okay, you want to go back to point B, as in boy, again, because you're different now. You've changed. Yeah, during that 2 years of going from point A to G, your life has really changed, and you've learned a lot of things, and so you see, or you're able to perceive more. Yeah. So then you go back to point B, as in boy, and you look at it a second time, and you're going to see things that you didn't see the first time, because you're more enlightened. Your mind is more expanded. So you're going to see things that were always there, but you just couldn't see the whole picture at that time because you just began that journey. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to reflect, to go back to something that you already learned, because you're going to find something new and you're going to learn something new. This is non-linear. Yeah, and another direction to go is further than the present moment, which is the future. And this is where you visualize. Yeah, you visualize things, and like where you would like your life to be in the next 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or whatever. And you visualize as if you're already there for a few moments. Yeah, and then you come back to the present moment, and it makes you feel good. And that visualization started a new pattern in your mind. And so that when you look at things around you, this new pattern is going to help you to choose whatever you need to get to that future. You see what I mean? That's this whole way of learning is non-linear. This is a non-linear style. Okay? So this is really important to understand, and that's why it's okay, to look at things that you've already discussed. Yeah, that you go back anyway and look at it again, because you change, and you're going to see more things. And and I know this to be true, because I do that. Yeah, and I've given seminars in various European countries, and sometimes, like Switzerland, I gave a lot of seminars there, and a lot of times there's maybe 2 or 3 show up at every one. Yeah, and and I tell them, I'm gonna say the same thing. It's different locations, yeah. But they say, no, no, it's okay. We like to hear it again because we always hear something new. They said, and they meant that I'm not changing anything. I say the exact same thing, but they themselves hear something new because they're learning about it more and they're expanding their understanding. And so when they hear it a second time, they pick on something they didn't pick up on the first time. And then if they come the third time, fourth time, see, I'm still giving the same message to different groups of people, but these guys like this certain group likes to hit all of them because they always learn something new for themselves. That's that's non-linear learning. Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, that's how life is. So that's why I say things on this show. Uh, Sometimes I might sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's important because sometimes you might hear something that you didn't hear the first time. Yeah, and that's cool because you're still learning. Yeah. So here we go. And Lakota Star knowledge, the basic piece here, the basic soul, your basic foundation here is your soul has two pieces. One is you, okay, and the other one is kind of like um, its development is already complete, but it's not you, okay, but it's kind of like a guide, okay. This is always attached to you until a certain point. All right, so you have these two pieces. One is you, okay? One is you. Now, the soul with two pieces, okay? Before it's going to be born into a physical body, it's in a certain star constellation in the sky. All right? The location, I mean, is where the star constellation is located. The location is there. And the soul is just waiting for a child to be born. It doesn't matter what child it is. It doesn't pick, yeah. It doesn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till that queen it conceives, and I'm gonna go in that one because I want to live a life of luxury." that doesn't that's not what happens. It doesn't matter. All it needs is a physical body, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. Okay, but it needs any physical body. It all physical bodies are important. Just because somebody is in a poor family, that doesn't make them any less important than somebody who's in a rich family. The soul does not see material wealth because material wealth is not important when you're talking about spiritual matters. Okay? So, and also the culture and skin color, those do not matter to the soul. The soul is not concerned about those things. Okay? So a soul is not saying, "Oh, I'm going to be an Indian," you know? And today's Indians, most of them are Christianized or they're Christian influenced and they don't know Lakota Star Knowledge information. Yeah, so that would be a bad choice. You're gonna be disappointed. Anyway, it doesn't choose a physical body based on skin color or culture or things like that. That doesn't matter. It just needs a body to inhabit. Okay? So, when that opportunity comes and it gets ready to leave that constellation, this part of the universe gives us a soul piece to you. Okay? You're coming to the earth now. Yeah? So now your soul has three pieces. Okay? Now, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back 9 months a little bit here. All right. When the mother of this child conceives, immediately the earth gives a soul piece to that child, the unborn child. Okay? So that's a fourth piece. Okay? And that one comes from the earth. That allows that child to live on this planet. Okay? So, when this baby is developing in its mother's womb, it has a physical body, and from that physical body comes the personality because of the brain and emotions. Yeah? And it has a soul, one soul piece from the earth. So it has the four parts of the self, basically. You have body, mind, heart, and soul. Heart meaning emotions. Right? And the soul piece is from the earth. So there is the four parts there. And in the Lakota ancestral world, when women started to realize they were pregnant, they started talking to their unborn children. Even if they're barely showing, they start talking to it, singing to it, because they're helping that unborn child to develop emotionally already. Yeah? And then family members come and talk to it too, so that it's already becoming a part of a community, even though it's not born yet. Yeah? So that's in our ancestral world. All right? Now, when the child is born, okay, now you're coming with your three pieces, and as soon as that child takes its first breath, your soul and its three pieces joins this child, and it joins that with that fourth soul piece from the earth. Okay? So now these are energies, okay? These are energies. Remember, the personality is created by the brain. The personality doesn't have anything to do with the soul. Now, I can prove this to you. For example, sometimes a person might get into some kind of accident in which he suffers severe head trauma and goes into a coma. When he comes to, his personality is totally different. His brain rewired itself and created a new personality. Doesn't really know his name or anything. He doesn't have any memories whatsoever concerning his past, what happened before the accident. Yeah, he doesn't recollect anything. So he's starting all new again. There's parts of his brain that still keep the way to talk, what language to speak, and things like that. But as far as his identity is concerned, he has a new identity, and he might be like sometimes this maybe before the guy was really no good. Yeah, and then after this accident, he's suddenly totally the opposite person. He's just a giant, lovable teddy bear. That's the brain. That's not the soul. That is the brain. It rewired and created a different personality. That's why I say the personality belongs to the body, not the soul. The soul has no personality. This is Lakota Star knowledge. Okay? So, now let's say the person lives its life on the earth, and whatever happens, if the person is living a healthy life, then there's development. There's soul development. Your part of the soul. That part that is you, the individual part. Remember, there's four soul pieces. One is kind of a guide. Another piece is you. Remember, those two pieces are always together for most of the time. All right? And the third soul piece allows you to be in this part of the universe, and the fourth soul piece comes from the earth and allows you to be on this planet. All right? So, the part that's developing is you. Yeah, your individual piece. All right? So, however you live your life, that's going to either develop your soul or not. And so whatever happens, either your soul does develop or it doesn't. And then, so now let's say this person dies for whatever reason. Immediately, the earth soul piece returns to the earth. Now, when it's getting ready to go back to that star constellation that it came from, it travels up there with the three pieces. And once it's up there in this certain constellation, it goes into a passageway. And as soon as it does that, it drops off that universe piece, that third piece. Okay? So just those two pieces are together. Yeah? You and this measuring part. Alright? Remember, that measuring part is complete. It's already completely developed. This is serving a certain purpose. Alright? So you go through this passageway, and there is a location on the other side where a measurement is taken to see if your soul matches that completed piece. If it does, then those two pieces separate, and then it's another story after that. Okay, but I'm gonna leave that out because we're not concerned about that right now because we're all still here on the earth. All right. So let's focus on this part. So that means, since you're on the earth, that means your soul piece did not match that completed piece. Okay, that's why you're here, to try to complete it. Yeah. So, okay, let's go back up to this place in the stars again. And this soul took its measurement and realized it's not completed yet. So that has to turn around, come back through that same passageway again, and it comes into that certain star constellation. And from that star constellation, it gets that third piece again, that universe piece, yeah, that allows it to be in this part of the universe. Then it's waiting for the next baby to be born. And it all starts again. Do you see what I mean? It goes over and over and over until the development is complete. So it doesn't matter when the soul is done with a lifetime on the earth. That's it. That experience is done. That earth experience is done now. So whatever happened during that time on the earth, it's over. What I'm talking about, in case you're confused, is when somebody dies. Okay? When somebody dies, all the experiences that happened during that person's lifetime, they have no more effect concerning the next lifetime. Okay? Because this lifetime is over for that person. This human experience is, for that lifetime, is done. It's just over. The memories are not important. What's important is that development. That's why you hear me say on this show many times that what the most important thing is how you live your life. Because that's what's going to decide if your soul develops or not. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what language you speak. Those things are not important. What's important is how you live your life. And this is coming from your sacred center. As long as you communicate from your sacred center, you don't see yourself as a Lakota or a Japanese. You see yourself as a human. You see yourself as a grandchild of Grandmother Earth. And so when you communicate to others, you see others that way too. They may not be the same as you. Other people might be communicating from their skin colors. They're not as enlightened as you are. But you just say, okay, that's their choice, but that's not how I am. Yeah, I'm over that. I'm communicating as a human, not as a Lakota, but as a human. Do you see what I mean? So when you see like that, when you see yourself as a human, your soul is developing very rapidly. But as soon as you start saying, yeah, I'm proud to be Lakota, and you go overboard on that thought, your soul does not develop because you're not communicating from your sacred center. So the bottom line is this. If you communicate from your sacred center, your soul develops. If you communicate from your skin color, your soul does not develop. Yeah? That's how that works. So, this is background information that you have to know before I jump into that next topic, okay? What I introduced here. Yeah, this is really, really important. Okay. So just try to remember everything I just said concerning the soul. Yeah, that this is all coming from Lakota Star knowledge. Really ancient information. So again, when you look at this, you can see that it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what language you speak. What matters is how you live your life. Yeah? If you communicate from your sacred center, you're living a healthy life and your soul develops. Okay? That's really important to know. And if you don't do that, your soul does not develop. So, when you die from this life, that's it for this life. Yeah? All the experiences and so forth that that happened during this lifetime, they're not important anymore. Yeah, they've served their purpose. So you don't carry that to the next life. That stays with the body. That's not important. Yeah? But that information from this life is in the soul development. Do you see what I mean? So, it's not important. Whatever you were in the previous lifetime, the one before you were here, okay? So you're here right now. You're listening to this radio show. Yeah, this lifetime. The lifetime before is not important anymore. That's served its purpose. And you don't need information from there anymore because it's already showing in your soul development, so you don't need anything from that. Yeah? Try to think of it like this. When you're growing your physical body, yeah, and you start out as a baby and then you become an adult. So your body changes through that time period. You get taller, maybe wider too. Maybe really wider. But you're changing, yeah? But you don't need to crawl around anymore because you can walk, you can run. You don't need to be crawling like a baby because your body's capable of standing up and walking. So why would you want to go back and crawl around again like a baby? I mean, playing with babies, that's another thing. But, let's say you're walking to work and you say, oh, shit, I don't feel like walking, I'm going to crawl. So you get down on all fours and you start crawling to work. You see what I mean? That crawling, you don't need to do that anymore because it's not necessary. I mean, you can if you want to. I guess there's no law against it, but it looks pretty silly. And the bottom line is, you don't need that anymore. It served its purpose. That time since you could get up, yeah, and get on all fours and crawl, from that time until you could stand up and take a few steps, you don't need to go back to that time anymore that time period has served its purpose. That's like a past life. Do you see? Do you get it now? You don't need anything from there anymore. It's not important. So what I'm saying is anything from a past life is not important for this life. Because it's done. The past life is done. It's not needed anymore. The soul developed from that experience. It went to a certain level. And that's it. Yeah? It doesn't need anything from that past life. Because that past life is complete. You don't need to crawl again because that part served its purpose and your life. You see what I mean? You don't need that. It's not important. What's important is right now. Because the way you think right now decides your future. And so to influence the future in a very healthy way, you should be at peace with your past. So you have no emotional baggage, to deal with. You can look at your past, even the difficult times, and feel no emotion because you're at peace with it. Yeah? That's where you need to be. And then as you become that, you see that the most important moment is the present moment. Which means the most important lifetime is the one you're living right now. The past lives, they're done. That's not important anymore. They've served their purpose. This is Lakota star knowledge. Okay? That's the way it goes. And the soul does not see skin color. The earth does not see skin color. The earth doesn't care what color skin you have. The earth doesn't even care if you're a man or a woman. What the earth is concerned about is how do you live your life? How do you live your life? How do you communicate? How do you receive communication? How do you learn from your difficulties? How do you enjoy your blessings? Are you at peace with your past? Do you visualize a healthy future? And everybody has this gift. That means no skin color is more important than any other. We're all important. The fact that we have a earth piece inside of us, a soul earth piece, and a soul universe piece, this makes us sacred. So your lifetime right now is the most important lifetime. Right now, the present life is the most important. And then when you come back in the next one, that one will be. Because that will be the present moment. Yeah? But right now, this is the present moment. And the present moment is the most important moment. Yeah? Which means this life is the most important one. So since the soul doesn't give a shit about skin color, it just comes when there's an opportunity to come to the earth for a human experience. So now can you understand when somebody says, "Oh, I think I just love the Indian people and I just have this huge Indian interest, particularly the Lakota people, and one time I had this dream and I was doing some kind of dance and there was a feather or two feathers on my forehead, and then when I woke up suddenly I felt that my name is two feathers and that I am a Lakota from a past life." Now do you understand that this is ridiculous? That does not hold water. That argument is weak. It's very weak. This is an obsession. And remember, how you think, how you communicate is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And remember what I said, the soul doesn't give a shit what color your skin is or what language you speak. That's not the main concern. The main concern is how do you live your life. That is the most important thing. If the earth were to favor Indian people over all other people on this planet, Indian people wouldn't even be able to move. Because the love of the earth is gravity. And you know that gravity has the same effect on all humans. That means the earth loves everybody, regardless of your skin color, because she doesn't give a shit what color your skin is. What she wants you to do is make the most out of your life, regardless of who you are, what condition you're in, what your circumstances are, as long as you do your best. And remember, in the mind, you can do many things. Yeah, visualizing. In the mind, you're free. Unless you're dualistic, then you're closing your mind. So this is really important stuff. So it doesn't matter what you were in a past life. That's done. That doesn't play a role in this lifetime. And how your desires, whatever your desires are, that is going to manifest in a dream. But that does not mean that you're supposed to be that. It's just your desire, your obsession that's manifesting as a dream. But that does not make it healthy. Yeah? It's like a drug addict that is trying to fight his addiction. And the addiction can appear as a person in a dream. And if we take this obsession too far, then we might start seeing things or hearing things. Now we've snapped our brains. Now we're going to go Looney Tunes now. You see what I mean? It's nice to learn about other cultures. Yeah, because cultures are beautiful. It's nice to learn about it. But when you try to be that culture, that means you're not communicating from your sacred center. Because if you're communicating from your sacred center, you can appreciate other cultures, learn from them, but you know that that's not the main thing. The main thing is, how do you live your life? How does that person live his life or her life? Yeah? So it doesn't matter what your lineage is. That's just serving your earth experience. What your soul has to do with is, how do you live your life? And what are your talents? Those are the important things. Yeah, we got a really goofy story in Lakota Star Knowledge that addresses this. It's called The Turtle Who Wanted to Fly. Long time ago, a turtle was swimming in a creek, pretending to be flying around in the water because he really wanted to fly. He would look up and watch the eagles when they flew nearby. He would admire how they would appear to be floating in the air and gliding really gently. The turtle really wanted to do that, but he could only stretch out his forelegs, his tail, and his head, and he would pretend that they were his wings, and that the water was the clouds. Thus he would soar in this manner in the water. However, his secret wish was to fly like an eagle. Then one day an eagle landed on a rock
near the shore of the creek. The turtle swam to the surface of the water, and his little head just popped up above the water. Then he swam close to where the eagle was standing. Turtle hinted to the eagle, "Geez, I wish I could fly way up there in the sky and just float around. That would be so wonderful. If only I could fly. If only there was a way." Eagle said nothing as he was relaxing and not showing any attention to Turtle. Finally, Turtle swam to the shore and spoke directly to the eagle. "Little brother, would you please teach me to fly?" Eagle said, "But big brother, you will surely die or really hurt yourself bad." Turtle said, "Little brother, I am a really smart guy. I know I will learn very easily to fly if you just show me how." Eagle said, "Don't be ridiculous. Big brother, if you go way up in the sky, you are just going to fall and break into pieces when you land on the ground." Turtle persisted, "No, not even. I just know that I can do it once I learn how. See, watch me now." Then he showed the eagle how he would fly, by first sticking out his 4 legs and his tail. Then he made his legs and his tail and his head move as if they were his wings. The eagle said, "If that is how you plan to fly, then you will die for sure." Turtle kept persisting until finally Eagle said, "Okay, I will teach you how to fly, but you have to follow my directions exactly as I tell you to." Turtle was all excited as the day he had been waiting for had now arrived. Eagle continued, "Big brother, I am going to grab you and fly with you up to the sky, and then I will let you go, and you can fly from there." Turtle said, "Oh, little brother, this is all I have ever wanted you to do. Now my dream has come true. Yes, just fly me up to the sky and let me go, and I will do the rest." Then he started to move his 4 legs and his tail and his head as if they were his wings. Eagle flew over and grabbed the turtle, and up, up, up they went. Turtle was all excited and practicing flapping his legs, his head, and his tail as if they were his wings, as Eagle was flying higher and higher and higher. Turtle looked down and got a little bit dizzy, but not too bad. Then he said, "Okay, little brother, this looks like a good place to start. You can let me go right here." Eagle said, "No, not yet. Remember, you have to follow my directions exactly." And so Eagle flew higher and higher and higher. Turtle was getting really anxious now, and so he said again, "Okay, little brother, this looks like a good place to start. You can let me go right here." Eagle said rather emphatically, "No, not yet. Remember, I said we will do this by my directions only." And higher they soared into the clouds. Then suddenly Eagle screamed, "Okay, now!" And he let Turtle go, and it took the turtle by surprise, but he started to flap his wings anyway. He soon noticed that he was falling instead of flying. Even so, he was still frantically trying to move his wings, which were really his legs, his head, and his tail. Then he started to spin around and around. His shell was making this whizzing noise. Whizz, and it was making whistling noises too because of the air going over those areas where his legs and tail were located. Eagle was trying to be serious, but the sight of the turtle flying was really funny to watch, so he started to laugh and laugh and laugh. Then Eagle flew right up close to Turtle and said, "Geez, big brother, you really fly good. I really like the way you fly. If only I could fly like that and make all those really cool war cries like you." At the same time, Turtle was grunting while still trying to be cool, like he knew what he was doing. Yet his motion seemed to make him fall faster, and Eagle was laughing so hard that he started to fall as well, but he caught his balance just before the ground came up to meet him. Turtle hit some bushes and started to bounce all over the place until he eventually bounced back into the creek where he started from. Eagle said, "Do you see, big brother? You should only fly in the water because that is what you are, and you cannot ever be something that you are not." And so Turtle was all shamed out and embarrassed, and he flew away under the water back to his home. The moral of this story is, do not try to be something you are not, because you will only make a fool out of yourself if you do. And worse, you could die.
We all have our talents. Yeah, we all have talents. Whatever it is, yeah, whether it's cooking or singing or hunting or whatever, we use these talents to help others, and so that we all can live together. Yeah, so that we all can contribute. And when you do this and you're being yourself, you see that everything that I've talked about on this show, living in the Lakota Star Knowledge way, everything fits, and it states that we are all important. We all have something to contribute to help one another. Doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter where you're born, what language you speak. What's more important is what's inside of you, your sacred center, and how do you communicate. Do you communicate from there? If you do, then you're healthy, and then your soul develops. And when things go crazy, you know that you just have to learn from it and make the best of it, and you still acquire wisdom. And that's a blessing too. And when you can do that, then you really are fulfilling your life. Yeah? And it doesn't matter what skin color you are. I keep saying that over and over because that's important. So I just ask that you think about these things. Yeah, nothing more. It doesn't matter if you agree with me or not. All I ask is that you think about it, because reality begins within. Yeah, that's what's more important than anything else. So I thank you very much for tuning in and listening. And yeah, have a nice one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I shake your hand, I give you a hug, and like I explained, everything is circular. We keep coming back. So in Lakota language, there's no word for goodbye. Instead, we say until next time, which in Lakota is Toksha Ake. So wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, have a good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, sweet dreams, until we meet again. Toksha Ake.